All right, today we're going to do a deeper dive into the Aidan O'Brien trained Mendelssohn. You can see here, this is Ladbrokes, a European betting site, and they've got Mendelssohn, the current 4-1 early favorite for the Kentucky Derby. Now, this past weekend, the Kentucky Derby future wager, Pool 4, closed in America, and it was Justify, who was the 3-1 favorite in America. Mendelssohn closed as the 5-1 second choice in the American futures. So Mendelssohn is getting massive respect right now, both in Europe and America. He's the favorite in Europe. He's the second choice in America. And what catapulted Mendelssohn to the top of these betting markets was his 18.5 length victory in the Grade 2 U.A.E. Derby at Maidan in Dubai. And that was on a dirt surface. It was the first start of his life on a dirt surface. I mean, he ran right out of the TV screen. The popular, American speed figures, such as Thorograph, which is a sheet-style figure, they had Mendelssohn running a -4.5, which made him the fastest 3-year-old in this country, faster than any 3-year-old in this country. And the buyer figures gave Mendelssohn 106. They basically projected him running 106 in that Dubai race, which was nowhere near as crazy fast as the Thoroughgraphs, but it still, at the time, made Mendelssohn the fastest 3-year-old, faster than any 3-year-old in America. That was until Justify. They gave 107 buyer to for his Santa Anita Derby win last weekend. Now, one thing I have to illustrate and try to pound home, and this is my personal belief and my personal position, but I believe that the track in Dubai was insanely inside speed favoring. To people who follow this channel, I put out a video, before the Dubai World Cup saying as much. And I want to say this, too. I'm not a big bias guy. I'm not a big guy who harps on track biases too often. I think they're very, very, very overrated. You almost never see them on a regular basis in America. I mean, they'll pop up here and there when, maybe the weather conditions or the wind or something to do with the track maintenance. The right circumstances occur where you could have a dead rail or a gold rail, stuff like that. But they're very few and far between in America. They do happen here, but really not over a long extended period of time. And there's certainly nothing like what we've seen in Dubai in those dirt races. Now, I wanted to take a deeper dive into that. You see here, we don't get an opportunity to bet the Dubai races too often in America. I really don't know if these days here. You see March 31st, March 10th, March 1st, February 22nd, February 17th, February 15th. I don't know if those are the only days where they race in Dubai, but they're the only days that, that we show them here. So these are the days where I have the past performances and I can see the replays, and really study these races at Maidan. For all I know, they could be running like camel races there in between these days. But anyway, these days are the days that I study. Now, I went back and watched all the all the thoroughbred races run on dirt over these days that are available on TwinSpires that we can get past performances for. And I can tell you this, over these last 6 days here, March 31st, March 10th, March 1st, February 22nd, February 17th, and February 15th, there were 17 races for thoroughbreds on dirt. 16 of those 17 races were won wire-to-wire by the inside speed horse. It was one wire job after another. Now, I'm not a cruel enough person. I mean, it would take great cruelty to run all 16 or all 17 of those races, and make you watch all of them pointing out how strong, you know, the inside speed bias was. But what I'll do is I'll show you basically cuts of all 17 real quick, and I'll start with that now. All right, this was from the February 15th card. There were just 2 thoroughbred races on the dirt that day at Maydon, and both of them, of course, were won wire to wire. The first of which was won by a horse named Don't Give Up. He was a favorite in the race, you know, about a 6-5 favorite in the betting. And this is a comment you're going to, you know, really get sick of in the next few minutes because you're just going to see it every time. Soon led. And what does that comment mean? Well, that means the horse just, you know, broke fast out of the gate and took the lead. And, you know, they always take the lead on the rail. And this is Don't Give Up. He won this race wire to wire. You can see the 6-1 shot Salvatore Dubai in the yellow silks. You know, he's the closest rail horse. He finishes second in the race. Now, moving along, this would have been the other of the 2 dirt races for thoroughbreds on that card. And this one was won by Goldtown. You see, Soon led. It was a wire-to-wire victory by 10.5 lengths he won by. You know, and this performance got a lot of attention. I mean, if I wanted to be a real jerk, I could show you, you know, with some, you know, credible people on Twitter. And there were a whole bunch of them where they were talking about this performance. I mean, credible American people. This was a glowing performance, and, you know, this was some strong candidate for the Kentucky Derby. Anyway, Goldtown went to the lead. He won by 10.5 lengths, and he got a lot of high praise here for this performance. All right, moving along to the February 17th card at Dubai. Once again, you had just two races for thoroughbreds on dirt that day. You know, they run a lot of turf races over there, but both of them wire-to-wire wins, inside speed. The first of which, Heavy Metal, well away, Soon led. There's that Soon led. He won by 9 3/4 lengths. You see Cosmo Charlie, 11-1, was second. The 2-horse Fantastic Four was third, beaten 16 lengths. He was 16-1. You see him inside there. So Heavy Metal, that would be your third straight wire-to-wire winner. And Yalta is going to make it 4 straight wire jobs for inside speed. You see Soon led here. That's Yalta right here, positioned toward the rail with the lead. She won by 5 lengths. Again, she's another short price horse, so you know maybe she should have won anyway. You see a horse named Tamu was second, and a horse named Stunned was third. You see Stunned right here. He's easy to pick up. He's got these yellow silks. He's towards the rail, but he finished third in the race at 11-1. All right, Secret Ambition is going to make it your 5th straight wire job for inside speed. You see that comment? Soon led. That's her there. She's about 2-1. Right to the lead, right to the rail. And they couldn't catch her. And here comes your 6th straight wire-to-wire winner. Inside speed on the dirt in Dubai. This is Raven's Corner. He's the 3-horse. You see Soon led. There's the comment. Right straight to the lead. Right straight to the rail. Incidentally, this horse here is Silver Look, the other horse that's right on the rail right away. And, you know, goes on to finish third at 80-1 odds. You know, this was a 5-2 shot that drew off and won by 7 lengths. This is the margin here. This was a 7-length winner. The huge 1-2 favorite Kim Bear finished second in the race. You know, you see the 1-horse back here, but it was Raven's Corner, a 7-length winner. And here's your 7th straight wire-to-wire winner of a dirt race for thoroughbreds. It was Capizano. You see 13-2 for the odds. That basically means the horse went off at 6.5-1 odds. So basically just think about a horse at 6-1 odds. You see Soon led, did the 7 Capizano, straight to the lead, straight to the rail. You can see a 14-1 shot at Godolphin's the 4. This is Footbridge. He's the other inside most horse in the race. He was second. And the 8, who's right there, positioned, you know, in the 2 path, kind of stalking the pace, finished third. And here comes Rhea for your 8th straight wire-to-wire win in a dirt race for thoroughbreds. Maidon here, you can see she's the one horse, soon led. That's the comment you're going to see for 16 out of 17 winners. She went right to the lead, right to the rail, and got the job done. She won by 3 3/4 lengths at 9-2 odds. The big favorite in the race, the 1-5 favorite in the betting, Winter Lightning. She was the bettor's better, like she couldn't lose, but she was wide, and that's a hard thing. You see where she's positioned here. That's a really hard thing to overcome on this track. She looks like she's going to be about 3-4 wide, and she was. If you watch the race, she was caught 3-4 wide the whole way. That's like impossible almost on that track. But that is Rhea, wire-to-wire. And here comes your 9th straight wire-to-wire winner of a dirt race for thoroughbreds in Maidon. This is Salvatore Dubai. 7-1 odds. You see he's in front there. Soon led right to the rail. Got the lead, got the rail, and that was that. He went off at 7-1, and he won by 5 lengths. A huge margin victory at 7-1. The favorite, the odds-on favorite for Godolphin, a distant second. You see the favorite there, and then the 3rd place finisher you can see up against the rails there. But Salvatore Dubai, wire-to-wire. And here comes your 10th straight wire-to-wire winner. This is U.A.E Warrior. He went off at 15-2, which is 7.5-1. So basically, he was a little bit better than 7-1 odds. Soon led right to the lead, and this is a dirt race. This race was obviously on the dirt, and U.A.E Warrior just took it to him. He won by 11.5 lengths. Not too often you bet a 7-1 shot and they win by 11.5, but that's what U.A.E Warrior was able to do here. You can see this horse here was the 3 who was 3rd at 66-1, was right in the pocket. And the 80-1 shot that finishes 2nd in the race was right in between. If you look in that run down the backside, the 3 inside most horses, the one was on the lead by itself and on the rail. Got loose on the lead and went right to the rail. The 3 was kind of on the rail the whole way. And the 6 was the 3rd inside most horse for most of the race on the run down the backside. So, boy, what a try this must have been. 7-1, 80-1, 66-1. But note that margin of victory. You don't get too many 7-1 shots winning by 11.5 lengths too often. And, of course, U.A.E Warrior was beaten about 50 lengths with a wide trip next time. All right, this is going to be our 11th straight wire-to-wire win on the dirt for a thoroughbred in Dubai. So you had 11 straight races at this point. There were thoroughbred races run on the dirt, wire-to-wire. This is 11-1 shot Jordan Sport. Well away, soon led. He got to the lead. He got to the rail, and he won by 7 1/4 lengths at 11-1 odds. Just put it on him. And this is going to be your 12th straight wire-to-wire winner. Kim Bear, soon led. He's the one horse, 4-1 odds. Broke from the rail, didn't have to get to the rail, broke from the rail, went to the lead and rail. There you go. And this here is going to be your 13th straight wire-to-wire win. There's the soon led, North America, 4-1 odds. Well away, soon led. There he is. He won by 5 1/4 lengths. This horse here, who was the big favorite in the race, Thunder Snow, he's in the 2-path there in the Godolphin Silks. He could do no better than 2nd on this day. Of course, he got to the rail and got to the lead in the Dubai World Cup next time, and he made a complete mockery of West Coast, who's, the top dirt horse left in the country after Gunrunner's retirement. But North America, he got the early lead. He got the rail. He won this race by 5 1/4 lengths. He demolished California Chrome's track record for the 1 1/4 here. And what was sad for him is that he missed the break. He missed the start in the Dubai World Cup, and he got caught behind horses. He ended up having to get some kickback in his face. He was throwing his head because he hated the kickback. The rider here took North America wide, had to after missing the break. So he broke slow in the World Cup, got caught behind horses. He got, boxed in behind where he couldn't get out in the clear right away. Took dirt in his face, didn't like the dirt. Finally, the rider was able to get him out wide where there was no kickback, but that's where the bad ground is. And North America was dead last, beaten about 60 lengths. He got beat, a couple of city blocks, a couple of football fields. Did North America get beat next time? And it was Thunder Snow, the horse that he made a mockery of it in this race, who beat him next time. And you see the one horse here at 20-1 was on the rail the whole way, Furia Cruzada. She wasn't, horse couldn't get to the lead, but, rode the rails this race and was third at 20-1. All right, moving along, Heavy Metal is going to make it 14 straight wire-to-wire winners in thoroughbred races on the dirt at Maydon. You see Soon Led. Of course he's Soon Led. He's the 9-horse here on the rail. He wins by 2 lengths, 4-1 odds. You see this horse finishes third here at 33-1. He's got the blue and the black. This would be the 5-horse. He's in a great spot right in behind him on the rail. Manages to finish third at 33-1 odds. But Heavy Metal got to the lead, got to the rail, and just kept it rolling. And of course, here's Mendelssohn. This is the big horse. He made it 15 straight wire-to-wire wins. Unbelievable. This was the 15th straight dirt race for thoroughbreds. The ones that I can watch on Twin Spires anyway, where a horse went to the lead, went to the rail, pulled the wire job. Mendelssohn won it by 18.5 lengths. He wasn't the favorite in the race. He was 7-4 in the betting. They made Gold Town, who, he took advantage of a bias last time. Gold Town ended up being the favorite in this race, and you can see here he didn't get to the inside, but it was Mendelssohn wire to wire by 18.5 lengths, the 15th straight wire to wire win. Rhea, who, look where she is. It's just, if you can't get to the lead and the inside, the next best place to be is inside behind the leader. And she was 6-1 in the race. She runs second. She beat the American horse Reride. Now, these are the European odds, by the way. I think Reride would have been a shorter price. But Mendelssohn wasn't the favorite in the American betting either. I think we had Gold Town the favorite. He was definitely the favorite in the European betting. But I wanted these charts because you could see the silks here. It makes it easier in the illustration. But that's Mendelssohn, your 15th straight wire-to-wire winner. And this is where the streak of wire-to-wire winners is snapped at 15. XY Jet, who just goes to the lead all the time. One of the fastest sprinters in all of America is XY Jet. He actually had the early lead in several races before this line on the form, but it's all I can really fit in to show you. But he had the lead a bunch of times in a row before this, but here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5. He went to the lead right away in this race last year, led, went to the lead in the Vosburg, went to the lead, went to the lead, went to the lead, went to the lead. And believe it or not, he had post position 2. And this is one of the most atrocious rides you'll ever see. There was a locally based horse, named Jordan Sport, who was basically a grass horse and had been competing in races for like $9,000 purses and finishing 8th by 6-1. And he kind of got good, and they tried him on the dirt. He freaked. He went to the lead last time and went wire to wire on the dirt. But I mean, this is a horse who was breaking from extreme outside post position 9. Was a big long shot. and his rider was very, very aggressive coming out of the gate. And Harmillo, an XY Jet, he decided that he was going to let this horse go. He angled off the rail, which was the stupidest thing. I mean, I was speechless watching this. Like, you know, you got 15 straight wire-to-wire winners, and you've got a horse with this much speed. And, you know, Harmillo sees some cheap, hopeless local horse, you know, gunning for the lead, and he just lets him go, comes outside, and then just really takes it to him in the middle of the race from the outside. So he gave away the rail, and then he was able to put this horse away. This horse here in the white and red did not go wire to wire. He got the lead. He broke from the extreme outside. He crossed and cleared. But it goes to show you it's still horse racing. You know, just because you get the inside speed, it doesn't mean you're guaranteed to win. And he didn't win the 16th in a row. Harmillo got XY Jet beat here. I mean, it was just a stupid ride. He took him off the rail. He let the speed go. He pressed him in the middle of the race. The front end collapsed. And the horse that won this race was a horse that broke from post position number 1, but he came from a mile out of it, and that's Mind Your Biscuits. And when Mind Your Biscuits won, there were people that were like, oh, there's no speed bias. I mean, just shoot, he won from last. Well, I mean, it's I will disagree with that, but this horse here that was able to cross and clear XY Jet early and then had to deal with the XY Jet, just, you know, the horse is never in front of XY Jet early. This horse crossed him, cleared him, got in front, and then wasn't able to, you know, he just cracked in the middle of the race. He got beat 6 lengths. I mean, granted, this horse here should have been beaten, you know, 25 lengths on form, but, you know, still he got to the lead, got to the rail, and he got beaten. There's people that are going to hang their hat that there was no such thing as a dirt bias in Dubai, because this number 1 horse here, Mind Your Biscuits, came and won the race for the 2nd year in a row with a wide trip. He had all the speed meltdown up front, but that put an end to the 15 straight wire-to-wire winners on the dirt for thoroughbreds at Dubai. And, of course, any rational talk that, you know, the bias had gone away was, of course, short-lived. As you see, Thunder Snow. This was the race where Thunder Snow, the Dubai World Cup, 8-1. He was actually a lot longer than that in America. These are his European odds. He was like 11-1 in America. But he got to the lead. He got to the rail. Castellano kind of was real confident in West Coast. He let him go. And Thunder Snow, you know, he took him all the way in the lead from the inside. Muktahij was third. He was like 28-1, a big long shot. You can see he was positioned real good here. You had the winner. This is just before the first quarter mile here. You know, basically a quarter mile into the race. But Thunderstone made it 16 out of 17 that have led at every call. You know, in dirt thoroughbred races. Muktahij third at 28-1, and West Coast, he was outside, he was stalking, he finished 2nd. Now that we've got all that out of the way, we get to Mendelssohn's form, and boy, does it look beautiful. I mean, you got the 18.5 length victory here, and yes, I mean, he was the, as far as we could tell from Twin Spires, the 15th straight wire-to-wire win by a thoroughbred in the dirt at Maidan in that race. The horse that he beat that was 2nd was the filly Rhea, who, you know, kind of was also inside. But still, there are a lot of things to like about this horse. Once you're able to put the track conditions at Maidan, once you're able to push past them. And it's a very hard thing to push past now because the horse is favored in Europe. He's 2nd choice in America. So you really want to, you know, he is being bet like that because of the U.A.E. Derby victory, and you really have to put the context to it. But we don't want to sound like what they call a hater these days here. So, I mean, look at this horse's form here. He won the Breeders Cup Juvenile Turf as a 2-year-old. He broke from the rail, was able to stalk and win. He run a good second in a Group 1 race in Europe at 50-1 odds. And you see here, he won his synthetic debut in Ireland by 3/4 of a length over a horse named 3 and 4 Pence, as you see there. And of course, 3 and 4 Pence also ran in the U.A.E. Derby. And here is 3 and 4 Pence. And you see in the synthetic race, he got beat just less than a length by Mendelssohn. He took him on in synthetic, and boy, there's a big difference between a synthetic surface and a natural dirt surface, as you see here. 3 and 4 Pence, he had a wide trip. He didn't get to the rail. He didn't like the dirt, and he got beat 56 lengths by Mendelssohn, a horse who he was right there with on the synthetic. And of course, he run against Mendelssohn here. He got beat 2.5 lengths to Mendelssohn on grass. He got beat less than a length to him on synthetic. He didn't take to the dirt. He didn't like the dirt being kicked in his face, and he was kind of taken out wide. And he run nowhere beating 56 lengths in the U.A.E. Derby. Look, there's really two different ways to view Mendelssohn. As a bettor, unless you were real sharp and you caught him in the third future pool and you got a big price on him, I mean, great job, but we have to deal with present circumstances. And I think he's too short. He's the kind of horse as the second choice in the betting in America to justify in the future wagering. This horse is going to be a short price in the Derby. He's probably going to have to deal with a lot of pace pressure. He's going to get dirt kicked in his face. I mean, horses in there like Justify are naturally quicker. Bob Baffert says Justify could run 108 for 6 furlongs. He's going to be aggressive coming out of the gate. There's going to be some other speed in there. I don't think Mendelssohn's naturally that quick. Now, he's stalked in the Breeders' Cup Turf. He's going to have to stalk in the Kentucky Derby. He's not going to be able to go to the lead like he did in Dubai. And maybe he's just such a freak that he can do that. But at his odds, I don't like him at this moment from a value standpoint. Now, taking the betting aspect entirely out of the equation, he is a fascinating horse if you're a fan of the sport. And he's a hard horse to evaluate as a dirt horse. Obviously, you love the surface there. Even though this was bias-aided, this was, just a sensational performance. 18.5 lengths. I mean, Ryan Moore, wasn't really moving a muscle on him. And he wasn't right on top of the rail if you watch. Virtually all of these winners were right on top of the rail. Mendelssohn was, in like the 1 1/4, 1.5 path, and even for a brief bit, it looked like he was almost into the 2 path. So he was still always the inside speed in the race, but, Ryan Moore didn't have him right on top of the rail, which kind of told me that, riders, when they know the rail is good and if you don't put them right on top of the rail, you're a little bit, you want to get them to relax. You see, he'd never been beyond a mile, and a 1 3/16 was a new test. It was no problem. I mean, this could be a wonder horse. I mean, who's to say, he isn't on dirt? Obviously, it's been mentioned in past videos about his breeding. His dam Leslie's Lady, she produced Beholder, who won the Grade 1 Pacific Classic at a 1 1/4 against older males. I mean, she was one of my all-time favorite horses. She was just a superstar for Dick Mandela. Leslie's Lady also produced Into Mischief. who is the sire of Audible, who's one of the leading contenders for the Kentucky Derby this year, won the Florida Derby, and he's the kind of horse that, can throw. He throws dirt routers into mischief, does for the most part. So the evaluation that I struggle with Mendelssohn, he's obviously a horse of great talent. This performance, I don't think there were some smoke and mirrors. Yeah, I mean, he won by 18.5 lengths. And if you didn't know better, you just saw the performance, I mean, you'd be falling all over yourself. I mean, it was just as visually as good as anything you're going to see. I want to show you the form of the third place finisher. He beat Re-Ride. Now, the filly who was second, she's with Bob Baffert now. They're going to try to run her into Kentucky Oaks. I mean, maybe Baffert can get improvement out of her, but she was on the rail. The interesting horse is Re-Ride. Let's take a look at his form. Here is the form of Re-Ride. You see he was in that Kentucky Jockey Club, was sixth Enticed. But he'd only been beaten once coming into the U.A.E. Derby. He won he won a stake at Delta Downs in his 3-year-old debut. He just held on to win by a nose. And then he went to Sunland, and he won the Mind That Bird Derby, they call it, at Sunland. He won it by 2.5 lengths. He got a strong bridge figure of 103. The horse he beat, Runaway Ghost, you can see here, was 15.25 clear of the third place finisher. So the third place finisher, Trooper, was beaten 18 lengths. But the point I want to make is that Runaway Ghost came back and won the Sunland Derby at a big price. And, really did it easily and impressively. So you get the 103 speed figure. You get a victory over Runaway Ghost. And, he goes to Dubai, and Mendelssohn beats him 21.5 lengths. Granted, Re-Ride was... wasn't able to get inside, wasn't able to get to the lead. A lot of the riders who knew the track better than Castellano were very aggressive coming out of the gate, and Castellano was, just kind of like, was seeing all these other riders send, and he figured there'd be a real hot pace on, and he wasn't quite as aggressive early with Re-Ride. He sensed, 5 or 6 other riders in the race sending from the gate like it was a quarter horse race. So Castellano, just as he did with West Coast in the World Cup, he just kind of took Re-Ride in hand a bit and let him relax, and came on to be third, beating 21.5. Now, what if Re-Ride was as good that day as he was this day? I don't know. All I know is he was against the track, but he was third to Mendelssohn and the filly. All right, after everything I said, I hope you're as thoroughly confused as I am with Mendelssohn, but we're going to go out on a very good note with him. We're going to watch this unbelievable, brilliant performance. This is Mendelssohn in post position number 4 here. Gold Town, this was the ultra hyped up favorite. He went to the lead last time and won by double digits, and they put him in the Derby future pool wager. And he's the 5 horse in the Blue Silks of Godolphin. The 7 horse in this race is that Yulong Warrior. He won, wire to wire by about 12 lengths at 7-1 last time. He's going to send. Watch how aggressive these riders are coming out of the gate. You think some of these local riders don't know that 14 straight races have been won wire to wire for thoroughbreds on dirt there? Just watch the tactics. Watch how they push and shove. Re-Ride is the 3. That's the Steve Asmussen horse. Finishes third in the race. And the filly who runs second is the 1 horse, Riyadh. She's now with Bob Baffert. They're going to try to get her to go for the Kentucky Oaks. I mean, she was inside all the way. But Mendelssohn, focus on him, the 4, and focus on how aggressive the tactics of these riders were. You're probably sick of hearing my voice right now. I'm very confused with this horse. I'm going to turn off the sound, and I'm going to let the track announcer take it away. But this is the favorite for the Kentucky Derby in Europe, Mendelssohn. He's a second choice in America. I really don't know what to make of him. I mean, I know what to make of the track last time. I thought it was inside speed bias. And I know he's a tremendous talent, but you can watch him win by a pole right now.
They're nervous and the gates are almost set. Gates are back and they're racing, and Sea Henge missed it by 2 lengths. Ruggiero was also slowly out. Mendelssohn flew out of the gates and being ridden up to the lead, and will try and cross Raya as they come to the winning post, but Raya holds up. So the filly Raya is going to go through underneath the Mendelssohn, and U.A.E Warrior goes into the speed battle as well. It zooms across. So Mendelssohn did some work, but now crossed Raya, but U.A.E Warrior up on the outside to keep Mendelssohn company. Next of all is Gold Town getting into a great spot. 1 out and 1 back in 4th. Ahead of Re-Ride, then 3 and 4 pence. 2 lengths away to Ruggiero. They were followed by Taiki Fervour, and a gap away in the field to Sea Henge. 25.09, the lead 400 metres as they go by the 12. And the front runner Mendelssohn, given a breather now by Ryan Moore, shows the way a length on U.A.E Warrior. Over on the inside is Raya, followed by Gold Town, then Re-Ride, 3 and 4 pence. Moving up on the outside, Taiki Fervour goes up 4 wide around the other Japanese runner, Ruggiero. And back at the tail of the field is Sea Henge. Off the back they come now in the Derby. They've got 800 metres to go, and Mendelssohn does it well as they turn down the side. Running to second, Gold Town being pushed along. Raya over on the fence. They were followed next by U.A.E Warrior, then Taiki Fervour, Ruggiero, Re-Ride. A gap off in the field to Sea Henge and 3 and 4 pence, but Mendelssohn's the one to get. It is jog trotting as they come to the top of the straight. Mendelssohn's out by a half dozen over Raya. Gold Town flat to the floorboards down the outside, followed by U.A.E Warrior, Taiki Fervour, Ruggiero, but it is Mendelssohn well clear inside the final 250. It's going to make a one-act affair of the U.A.E Derby. Mendelssohn en route perhaps to the Kentucky Derby is going to absolutely jog up. Mendelssohn's out by 15 on Raya, battling on Re-Ride, followed by Gold Town, but what a win by Mendelssohn. Mendelssohn by a conservative 17 lengths. Second Raya, third across the line Re-Ride, followed by Gold Town. Next in was Sea Henge, followed by Taiki Fervour. Then came U.A.E Warrior. Next in across the line Ruggiero, and pulling up at the rear was 3 and 4 pence. Well, that was outstanding, Mendelssohn, for Ryan Moore and Aidan O'Brien. Now, the horse that is beaten home there by probably 25 lengths, Gold Town, is very, very good. This has been a performance to really write it down as a